Death by strangulation. A tagline most often seen in newspapers, police reports, or medical files. This, one of the most intimate kinds of murder, is a popular plot device in media in all its forms. There's one problem with the way it's portrayed, though. It's never, ever right. We've all seen the films, how someone is grabbed by the throat or has a tool wrapped around their neck and pulled. The next time you see this, I encourage you to count the seconds. Typically, in visual media, it takes around 5 to 10 seconds for the victim to lose their life. In that time, what do you see the victim doing? They struggle, sometimes they scream, but every time they quickly get weak and then seem to fall asleep. The movies we watch make strangulation seem easy, simple, disgustingly peaceful, but when you're on the receiving end and you learn the science, it's an entirely different beast. The actual force required to strangle someone is surprisingly minimal. It takes 4.4 pounds of pressure, less than that of an average human handshake, to compress the carotid arteries and cut off oxygen and blood flow to the brain. It takes so little pressure, in fact, that up to 50% of victims show no visible signs of injury. Within 6 to 10 seconds, the victim loses consciousness. It is at this point the brain begins to die, losing important cells. Continued restriction leads to death in 4 to 5 minutes, but even when holding the statistics, the experience is still untouched. When I was being strangled, even though my head had been hit repeatedly that night, I was still able to summon some strength. I began to scratch, to claw, but I could feel him wringing my neck, my rapid heartbeat thunderously clapping inside my skull with nowhere to go to regulate. I could feel blood pooling in my eyes and in my teeth like they might pop, little popcorn pieces. My strength faded quickly. Blood vessels popped in my eyes. My chest and throat would have screamed for air, but with expert hands, my voice was imprisoned. The sheer pain of it stays, though, how my lungs still burn all through my chest and how my throat catches its own breath in some somatic disturbance. The movies never get it right, not just due to time constraints. Strangulation in its purely lethal form is grotesque. It is vivid and disturbing and quiet. There is more to be said about the gratuitous, easy-end showing of strangling we get on our screens. It speaks no truth to the real horror, instead leaning into shock value and unrealistic expectations. Disproportionately placing women in the role of the victim shows a kind of systemic domination that people of my gender have been trying to fight since we had the word discrimination to walk beside. So hear me, and do so closely. Strangulation is not a simple, clean, peaceful death. It is calculated, maintained. It takes minutes of effort and intentional, intimate violence to follow it all the way down to the sickening end. Do not trust the films. Trust the ones who lived. Trust the ones who woke up. Trust the ones who still feel the hands, even in their sleep. Because we are the ones who know, and we are still here to say so.